The Real Wargamer at the Wargaming table here with Rebel Yell, Small Unit Tactics of the American Civil War. Looking at, was it White Oak Swamp, Module 2, learning scenario. Yeah, just did some advance fire here. Union advance fire against the Confederates there. Yeah, now I'm picking up. This is what I was going to do next. I'll start it here. I think, yeah, so they go over the fence into the clear there. This unit gets advanced fire again, just with the -2 penalty for having the advanced fire marker on them, which is a net -1 because they still get +1 for advanced fire. So it's a net -1. So I will do that just a second here. So that's next right here, showing a unit doing advanced fire again, or stack in this case. Did a lot of, yeah, I was able to do a lot of thinking since the last play session, and not going to go into the details because, well, frankly, just lost my momentum on that. But I guess I want to summarize some things, which, unfortunately, because I'm going to summarize them, they're not going to be fully fleshed out. So I was able to look ahead in the rules again, look ahead, and wow, just so many good things I see here. So as I'm learning the game here, again, I'm on module 2 of 7. I mean, I really, really like what I've done so far, and really like what I've seen so far. So I think right now I can say, I think I really like Rebel Yell here. So this is mid-90s, and I know, I think I should acknowledge, or I feel I should acknowledge. I understand the. Oh yeah, I wasn't going to go into too much detail, but anyway, 60s, well, not 60s, 70s and 80s. I guess it's my impression that war games were getting, and again, this is my, I guess, reading of the wargaming history. Games were getting more and more complex and detailed, but it really is straight up complexity. So I think in general we're going from, let's see, well, kind of like the blue and gray series all the way to, I guess, like the TSS and I guess to this game. Well, that wasn't a good, we went from kind of the, yeah, I still don't know enough about, and I don't profess to be, see, I don't have the first-hand history knowledge, but having the the third-person reading of the history. I guess 70s and 80s war games were getting more and more complex, and I guess in the 90s it was kind of peaked, and then after the 90s, in the first decade here of the 2000s, there seemed to be, and again, I pick up after 2010, I really pick up in 2012, but I guess in the first decade of the 2000s here, we had the pendulum swing back the other way, and there was a strong, simplification, streamlining, not sure how else to put it, move, I guess you could say, I've enjoyed when I've looked back before this period, when I've looked back at the games that are held up as, supposedly too complex, supposedly too fiddle, etc., etc. But, I'm also thinking that I think I'm looking for more than just simulation. Simulation's one thing. I think I'm also looking for modeling in simulation, and I thought about this when looking ahead to these rules. When a unit in formation comes under fire and is forced to take cover, and then you have the rules, the simulation aspects of that, I think you're doing modeling and simulation. And I think I'm looking for modeling and simulation. Okay. Yeah, I think that's enough for now. There was some more, but this is engrossing and similar to the Death Ride series so far. And I'm going back to the term verisimilitude, is carrying, is carrying on. Yeah. So I think, let's see. I can't remember what the combat calculation was here. So there's our regimental flag. We've got 3 good order companies firing from the is that Woods hex there. So, and the Confederates are in the clear there. 1 hex range. Okay, so it's 3 firing unit strength times 4 for the range factor is 12. 12. No O hits. Oh, that's what I was thinking of. I was thinking there's one more thing. I'm not gonna, I'm not saying I'm gonna do anything with this, but I did notice that. So the game design has O hits 1 and 2, and then 3 eliminates a unit. I think maybe the next step for this game design, I think, is to just have strength markers with numbers. 1. But you'd only need 1 to 9 at the max. But anyways, I think the next step is ditch these 1 and 2 O counters and use actual strength mark hits and put the number of hits underneath the unit, and you take that off of the morale of the unit. So it looks like, most units in this game are going to have a morale of 5, 6, or 7. Well, actually, I thought that's what it was. Let me do a quick scan. 5, 6, 7. So 6, 7, 5, 4. Ooh, 4, man. 4, 3. Ooh. That is really bad. Let me see if there's anything more than... I don't see anything more than 7. 6, 7, 5, 4, 6, 5, 7, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I don't see more than 7. So, yeah, it looks like most units would average 5, 6, or 7. And so you take the hits off of that. And what that would do is that would do a few things. What that would mean and the thing I like about it is that morale-wise, you knock off about 50% of the unit's morale, and it really the unit's still on the board, but it's really not very effective. Really, I mean, what I mean is, wait a minute. Yeah, actually, I was thinking that you would still... Yeah, you would still treat them as... Oh, you're right. So that means that if you have a unit of 6 morale after 3 hits, it is, it's very... After 3 or 4 hits, it's pretty much always firing... Not always, but it is often firing on the 0 or 1 line, which just makes it really ineffective while still being on the board. Kind of like that. Anyways, that was just thinking. Again, nothing I would take the time to do, because so far there's so much that I like here that I wouldn't go on for something else like that. Okay. So we have +1 for the targets being in the clear. Okay, +1. I was going to use this. This is what I got this out for. +1 for the target being in the clear. This is advanced fire, so another +1 for 2. And then it's -2 for having an advanced fire marker, which gives it an even. All right. So on the 12 line, that's the 12 to 14 line. Ooh, and you want to roll low, and they rolled a 1. So that's a 1. Okay, so that is a 1. Okay. So they take a 1, and they're going to do their disorganization check. So it is what is that? It's 6. 6. Yeah, 6 for the Confederates, -1 for the O hit. Oh, but now it has it's stacked with the flag, so it's +1. So the flag offsets the O hit. Yep. Okay. So 6 or less. Rolls a 5, so it's good. So it just takes the O hit. Like that. And we still has the advanced fire marker like that. All right. So now to keep things together. Get this right. So okay, so I'm going to move this unit. That's 2 for clear terrain. Terrain. Let me get it right about turning facing change. So it seems pretty clear during an action phase. We're in an action phase. This is the player 2 or Confederate action phase. A unit can freely change facing once. If it does so more than once, then it's disrupted. So the 2, I'm not sure what the cost would. I don't think there's a separate cost. I didn't even pay attention to that, but oh well. They're easily going to get here. And I should pay to enter an EZOC. I need to remember that. Yes, yeah, it is 1 to enter or exit an enemy zone of control. So 2, I'm not sure about the facing change. I mean, is it free from disruption, or is it free from paying with movement points? Let's see. See if I can find it quickly, and I can't. Yeah, I don't see it. So maybe the free part is free from disruption. Okay, 2 facing change, 3, 4, 5 for the enemy zone of control. Okay. Oh, well now obviously we have this advanced fire, and why would they not take this? There is something, I wonder if it's, I did notice that there are, I'll say like the last time I was studying the rules, I noticed multiple little extremely important, what do we call them, details, and maybe it's more than details, but I noticed something. Let me see if I can. So this is advanced fire, and this is important because I thought it meant, because got to pay really close attention to this. Yeah, units with advanced fire markers on them. So that's going to be these. It's going to be both of these guys. May not fire in the next friendly small arms segment after the segment in which the markers are placed. So they're placed in this action segment. And so, let's see. Yeah. So next friendly. Placed on units in segment G by player 2 would not allow fire by those units in segment I, P2 small. P2 action. Yeah, right. Player 1 is Union here. And they're being placed in the Confederate action phase. So these Union units do not get to fire in the next P1, that is Union small arms fire segment, which is coming up when? That's crazy. That's... What? That's all the way into the beginning of the next game turn. Except that advanced fire chits are removed at the end of every friendly action or small arms segment. So the next, the very next, okay. I completely, I mentioned this early on, I really, really trust the design integrity here, I really do. But it's not always clear why things are the way they are, or what was meant by them. But the very next segment is a P1 action segment, so I guess at the end of the P1 action segment, that's the Union side, these advanced fire markers are going to be removed. So I guess, does that mean, during the next P1 Union action segment, if these guys fire, they still have the advanced fire penalty? I guess that's what's meant. And for that matter, can they just march away? I'm not sure. Okay, so let's do this. The 2, so that's 8. They have 8. They start with 8. They have 8. Let's see. Targets in the clear. Yep. So clear, so that's plus. What's different? That's +1. +2 for advanced fire. Yes. Advanced fire into the clear. You can almost remember that as a recurring one. That's a +2. And I think that's it. So +2. So we start on the 8 to 9 line, we go up to the 12 to 14 line. Not bad. 12 to 14 line. 5. That's not so good. It's still a D. Well, it's still a D result, but still there are no, which is nice. There are no die roll modifiers. You never have to worry about that. I actually don't have a problem with that. So D result. Okay, so the Confederates advance there, and they get disrupted. And this is another one I just don't understand. I'm sure, and again, I trust the integrity of the design. But this whole thing about, so here the unit is disrupted, which we know affects the whole hex. But unit may take an O hit in lieu of disruption by passing an organization check. I'm still not sure why you would want to do that, but I mean, there is a -3 fire penalty for being disrupted. Is there? Oh, there's a -3 for assault as well. So if you want to close the distance, and especially if you want to close into assault, then I can see why. Hey, you know what? Let's play with that. Let's try to pass an organization check and let's see what happens. Ooh, they just barely passed. They just barely passed. There shouldn't be any modifiers. Oh, hits, flank fire. Oh, that's funny. Do you count the O hit or not? I guess that... that's going to matter. Let me check that. All right, the implication is it says, you know, if you pass the morale check, you take the O hit. That implies to me that you're not taking the O hit first and then doing a disorganization check. So they barely pass with a 6. And now I'm just experimenting with here. So does this now mean that if I want to go into assault here, I mean, is that better? I guess it's better, but that's a really interesting little, and there are multiple of these little details here. But let's see how that works. So this 2-1 regimen is done. Yep, we're going to have the whole thing over here. They're going to advance, and the Union is going to get their advance fire.